All right, so I'm going to get back into contingency, and then we'll just go ahead and move into the no power segment or whatever. But before I do that, I just want to tell my mama I love you, and tell my sister I love you, tell my other sister I love you, and that's that. So I just have and my brother too. I forgot, dude. So me and my brother don't talk, as you guys know. I think I've talked about it a little bit. But dude, if you think I don't love you, brother, I love you. I just can't stand being around you. So don't take it the wrong way. But yeah. So contingency. Like this guy. Look, he can't walk very well, but he got a contingency. He's going to go right there across the road, and everyone's going to walk for him because he ain't going to make it to the crosswalk. You see how he's walking? So he just goes right across the road, and everyone, gets out of the way. It's okay to go before, as long as you're not making anyone wait. So, like, some people break the rules, but they get away with it. And the reason why they get away with it is because they're not causing anyone else any congestion. So, for example, if there was a line and you jumped to the head of the line and you just stuck your hand in a box to grab bagels and then you just walked away, you didn't really jump the line. Yeah, you might have got a bagel before the guy that's the first in line, but here's the thing. You walked away. So no one else had to wait for you to get, no one had to wait because you grabbed the bagel so quick. So you didn't really make anyone wait. So that's something you might want to be thinking about when you're trying to go ahead of somebody, is make sure that you're not in their way if you're going to go ahead of them. And, like we talked about, don't take things personally. But like I said, this contingency, I want to go ahead and put it into the segment of the no power. So the no power contingency is pretty cool. So my friend came over last night. I just did a little short. I pretty much slept all day. You know what? I got the best night's sleep I've had in so long yesterday that it was just like, I literally went to bed probably around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I didn't wake up until like 4 in the afternoon. I was sleeping like a freaking baby. And I really believe it's because I don't have all that electricity running through the house. Is getting all quiet, because this is some astonishing shit for me. So last night my friend JC came over, and we hooked up the laptop and we watched a couple little movies and stuff or whatever, talked, had some food. He bought me some Chinese food, and thank you, JC, that was delicious. And he brought over it's really cool too. It's like a solar power hookup. So basically all you got to do is you hook these little red and black to the battery, and then it charges the battery through solar. And look at, what do we have out right now? We haven't had that in a while, but we have a bunch of sun out right now. So now I've got this little solar charging unit, actually 2 of them. So pretty much, now that I have all these solar charging units, I'm going to figure out how to, start getting. So that's the first step to a little bit of free energy. And we're talking about contingency. So like, that's what I'm talking about. I want to not just have a little bit of free energy, but I want to also get some supplemental energy. And this is not going to be that hard to figure out. Like, last night we were talking about generators, and he has a generator that he was saying I could use, which this segment ain't going to last that long because I've already signed up for an energy assistance program, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to accept me because I do qualify. So we'll see what happens with that. But and actually a long time ago, like right during COVID, pretty much, or right in the middle, I was having a problem with my electric bill during that time too, and I actually asked for some energy assistance. But at that time I had like 3 or 4 people living in the house, and they all moved out pretty much at the same time and left me with a big old fat energy bill. And some of them were even telling me that they would pay for it. And these are people that I've known for 10 years plus, and no, They never, they told me they'd pay it, but they never did. So, you know what? The city of Wood Village paid it for you. So, that's how it goes sometimes. And now that I've already got one done, I'm pretty sure that this one's going to go. And so, getting back to the point is that there is help for you guys out there that, are getting your energy bills are going up too high, or they're getting too far beyond. One thing that I do want to talk about that's a little disturbing is that the energy company, I've been giving them money since 2011. That's how long I've lived out here, and when I, basically am a good customer, I don't hear anything from them. As a matter of fact, I don't think they've ever said anything like, hey, thanks for being a good customer. And it's like, I guess we shouldn't expect to hear that. But I'll tell you what, I tell my customers that all the time. I tell them how appreciative I am that they gave me the work. I tell them how much it meant to me, and that I know that they could choose other people and all that, but right there is no choosing any other energy company here in Oregon, at least in here in the metropolitan area. It's Portland General Electric or go yourself. So they pretty much have a monopoly on all the energy grid here. So why would they worry about anything? I mean, when they shut my power off, they sent out notices in the mail. They tried to contact me on the phone. And really what it was is they just wanted me to talk to them. And so I can honestly say, on my part, I didn't want to talk to them. I was just avoiding it. And the reason why I was avoiding it is because I wanted to push the gas gauge to E as far as I could to see, how far I could really get away with it. And now I know how far I can get away. It's about 4 months of not talking to them and 4 months no payment. But here's the interesting thing. So if I would have just called them and set up a payment program, they would have set up the payment program and taken no money and not turned me off. But now that they've turned me off, they want me to give them a minimum of half. So the bill's up to like $800 and something bucks. So they want $400 to turn me on. Like I said, I'm getting some assistance, so that's going to get turned back on. But here's the catch. They didn't send anyone else to check to see if maybe somebody died. They didn't even, the thing is what if there was like, animals that needed that electricity that could be, suffering because electricity's off. I mean, people have fish, people have lizards and snakes and little chickens and ducks and geese and dog kennels. I mean, shame on you, PG&E, for not being a little more responsible with that gigantic sword that you wield. Because here's the thing. PG&E will send out maybe not send out, but they'll make an advertisement that says, hey, don't let your kids play next to the power lines because if a power line fell, it could, shock them and they could get hurt or possibly die. And that right there turns into, oh, PG&E cares about my kids. That's probably a good power company to go with. Well, until you don't pay your bill, then they could care if your kids were on life support in the house. You didn't pay the bill, they're going to turn you off. So, and I'm so, ready to turn my power back on and make sure that I get right back on that meter lifestyle. No, guys. That meter lifestyle is going to really start to change for me. I'm going to basically figure out everything and anything I can to get off that meter. In reality, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I might go on the road with you guys. I might just sell it all off and do Gregory's Odd World on the road for a while and put the gaming channel on hold for a little while, and just do the Gregory's Odd World and the Gregory's shorts. Because the thing is what I'm noticing is out here in my truck is where I'm finding all the people that need help. This is where I'm finding all the people. And so that's what I want to do, is I want to go around and I want to spread democracy and I want to help people. And I really don't want to jump subjects so quick, though. I want to kind of continue with my thing. So anyways, I had this conversation with the rep. It was a really, really good conversation. His name was David. Very, very nice guy. We talked for probably about 30 minutes, something like that. But I just told him, I said, if someone were to put a rock through your window because they didn't like PG&E's policy, do you think PG&E would pay for your window? And he was actually quick to say yes. And I told him that's interesting you say yes, because I think it's no. And here's the reason why I don't think PG&E would pay for your window. Number one, if they paid for your window, that's somewhat admitting that it's a bad policy. So either they would have to fix your window and remove the policy, or fix your window, keep the policy intact, and still know it's a bad policy. Either way, it's a douchebag move for the company. And so these companies aren't going to take bullets for you. If you're working for a company by the hour, just take note and see what they really do for you compared to what you do for them. And I'll tell you right now, they're not doing as much as you think they are, because they're getting away with paying you by the hour, because the culture has basically taught the younger generation that working by the hour is okay. You could make $100 an hour and it's still not going to be sufficient. There's a story called The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, this is kind of weird, because back in there, what the guy said, in order to, accumulate wealth, you had to accumulate slaves. Well, today, slaves are actually employees that work by the hour. They just don't know it. Because if you can get somebody to work by the hour, then you're definitely getting more out of them than they're working. And this is why people at the workplace will try to go hide, they'll sleep, they'll take long bathroom breaks. They'll just do anything, because they've been groomed by the company, but the company doesn't really care. Now, I'm not saying every company does this, but I'm saying the majority do. And, it's not right. We literally worked a 7-day work week during the industrial period until we got underpaid for a long time. If you look at the Men Who Built America, Andrew Carnegie, he was a real piece of work. But literally, where they had shootouts on his where they built steel and everything. See, Andrew Carnegie basically did the steel, and then eventually what he did was he bought General Electric, as I think what it was. But and then eventually J.P. Morgan got it, or something like that. I don't know exactly. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But what I do know is that it was 7-day work weeks. There was no weekend, and people were so suppressed that they were happy to work 7 days, because if they didn't, they were probably dying from some sort of sickness or literally living in the streets cold. So that's literally how the work industry started. So, it's really easy to tell what's going on if you just go back in time and see where it all originated from. So if that's where it originated from, you can, bet your sweet booty that it's still somewhat like that today. And it is. So back in the day, they argued for 2 days off, and they had to fight for it. Literally, there were shootouts on the steel, shootouts, guns. Andrew Carnegie would literally hire mercenaries to go in to try to scare his steel workers out of the factory so that he could find new steel workers. See, at that time, everyone was so poor and wanted work so much that Andrew Carnegie was taking advantage of that to where he literally, if people didn't want to work, he just got rid of them and he'd find somebody that did, because there was always somebody that wanted to work. And then people that were being exploited, once they got the job and realized that, it wasn't fair. And so they would want to quit, or they would want to raise or whatever. So Andrew Carnegie would say, get the hell out of here. And he'd just bring in another guy. Now, that's not a good way to do business. But the point of this is that we need to argue for more days off. If you guys are working by the hours or by the hour, then you should be getting, I say it should be like a 4-day or a 3-day. I think we should get more days off than we work. Why would you want to work more days of your life and take less days off? Doesn't make sense. Well, I've pretty much done that my whole life. I've taken as many days off as I want to. And I have, worked as much as I want to, as long as work was coming in. And you see where I'm at. Yeah, power turned off. But you know what? I'm willing to take that responsibility, because I know how important it is for me to be able to rest when I want to rest. And so if that means that the power's got to get shut off for a little while so that I can, get my rest, then so be it. I'm not gonna play that rat race game like everyone else, especially when I know it's set up for me to lose. Pretty much the PG&E company is set up like a casino. You don't ever win. If inflation happens, PG&E goes up, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you know what? It's just going to get more and more expensive. But on the whole, all we're really doing is polluting the earth by, promoting these companies, by giving them our money. And these companies, the thing that they're most sensitive to is you paying them. And so, mark my words, I will be figuring out a way to dramatically reduce my PG&E bill, because I don't think it's fair. We have the technology that all houses should be self-sustainable now, and the only reason why they're not self-sustainable is because businesses like PG&E exist, and they're pretty much kind of, monopolizing the system. And really, another thing is the people want the crutch. Because think about it. If you went to work for 5 days a week and you weren't very happy about the work, and you go to work unhappy and you come home unhappy, do you have enough energy to go argue with the PG&E company, or put some, energy into maybe figuring out how to make your own PG&E for yourself? Just make some whatever. No, because you're already beat down so much by what society has done, by being on the meter lifestyle. So what do? You go home and you use your crutch, just like I do. You turn on that light, or you turn on that TV, or you plug in that cell phone, or you go open up your refrigerator and get some food. I mean, it really is a crutch. Having power in your house is just as much as a crutch as any crutch that you could think of. I think that we should have power in our house, but I think that the people that do have power in their house, very rarely are they probably cognizant of how much of a crutch it truly really is in their life until they don't have it. And I'm thankful. I'm actually thankful that my power got turned off, because number one, it showed me what type of company I'm giving my money to. One that doesn't care about me very much. As soon as I start making noise, they act like they care about me. But if I don't say anything, they just sweep me under the rug like I don't even exist. So that's why I'm making this video. So I hope this video is received well, and I hope that it is used to the best of its abilities, so that we can all start making our own renewable energy, and we can all start helping out the grid, so that we're not using as much power. And then maybe PG&E will just, start to treat their customers a little bit better, because they won't have as many. And that's really the truth, is when you have less customers, you treat them better. But when you have more, then you start to treat them like crap. What kind of sense does that make? But then there's even, something that happens that's even bigger than that. And it's when there's nobody to compete with you in your industry. So then you really get comfortable just throwing your weight around and doing what PG&E is. They're not just doing it to me. They're doing it to a lot of people. And that's why I'm doing the segment, because I know that this is a struggle that everyone else is dealing with too. Not just here in the Portland area, but throughout the whole country. Well, that's my video before work today, because I'm just right here around the corner and I've got to get over here and put up this siding. But I will make a small video today about this siding, because no one's got to see it yet, and show you guys what I've been doing. And then I'll probably get a video of me finishing it off or whatever. But yeah, so like, subscribe, share, hit the ring notification button, and like Tim the Tap Man says, tell somebody you love them. Doesn't come from love, it's wrong. But more importantly, inspire to add more value to the people you come across than they could ever add to you. Gary V. He's the bomb. Check his channel out. And this is Gregory's Odd World signing out. You guys all have a good day.